Are you vaccinated, and what's your stance on vaccinations?
Yeah, I've been immunized. There's a lot of conversation around it, around the league, and a lot of guys who have made statements and I've made statements, owners who've made statements. There's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys. There's guys who've been vaccinated that contracted COVID. So it's an interesting issue that I think we're going to see played out the entire season.
Wherever Aaron Rodgers is, from where I sit, Michael Holley, he is getting all the smoke, as he should, given the smoke and mirrors or the smoke that he blew back on August 26th with regard to his vaccination status or immunization status, as it were. Listen, let me get this out the way first. Let's start by saying,
let's do it.
I hope he's asymptomatic, and if he does have symptoms, I hope they're mild, and I wish him a speedy recovery.
Word.
Having said all that, for that stunt that he pulled and has pulled in the weeks and months since, I hope Aaron Rodgers is suffocating, figuratively speaking. I hope he is suffocating on all the smoke he is getting throughout media, on social media, from fans, all the criticism that he's getting. I hope he's suffocating on that smoke because he absolutely deserves it.
Mike, we always talk about comedians on the show. What was that Chris Rock special? Neighbor says, I heard you got robbed. I ain't seen nothing. And,
you ain't do
And Chris
this.
Rock said,
You ain't see shit because you was doing shit.
because you was doing it. Because you was doing it. So Aaron Rodgers saying, I don't judge those guys. No, you ain't judging those guys because you are that guy. You're that guy. And you know how you can just tell some people are lying? He was asked a direct question, are you vaccinated? And he did a little shifty eyeball. Yes, I'm immunized. No, I ain't what I asked you. And shame on us, not that we created the situation, but shame on us, not you, because you called it out immediately. But shame on the big you, us, in the big M media for not really catching it and pushing some more. Immunized. No, Aaron, I just want to get this straight. Hold on. You said you were immunized. What does that mean? Are you vaccinated? Yeah, I think it's a yes or no question. Are you vaccinated, yes or no? And then he could do that dance, which a lot of people do. Right. That dance of I'm not going to answer that question. And I just think, I think it's just interesting. Again, if you want to be about the life, because I'm about certain things, and I will tell you what I'm about, and I know you will judge me. You'll either be for me or against me based on what I'm saying. But I'm convicted in what I believe in, and I'll just let you judge me no matter what. So if you're really about not being vaccinated, say it.
Right.
I am unvaccinated, and I am willing to pay the price for that. But no, he did that little. He took that little. Yeah. He took the exit. He took the exit of, hey, I'll let y'all have this conversation, and I'm going to pretend because that's what it is. It's great acting. Well, good acting from Aaron Rodgers. Because as I said, if you go back and look at the video, you can tell he's lying. But he's letting everybody else have the conversation. He's pretending that he is one of the vaccinated who is not going to judge the unvaccinated. Mike, real talk, it's like those people, and I used to deal with these folks on sports radio all the time. And I was doing sports radio in Boston, and we didn't have, obviously they're callers. They're on the phone. They weren't FaceTiming you. They're just calling you. So whatever, inevitably, it happens all the time. A matter of race would come up. So a matter just really directly related to black folks. And somebody would call up and say, hey, as a black man, I'm like, you lying? No, you ain't. You ain't black. You just trying to get these takes off. You're trying to get these takes off as a white man pretending to be a black man, and so you want a black man to say
never
what
happened in
you,
Boston.
as a white man,
I don't
would say.
believe you.
Always.
I don't believe you that
Hey,
ever happened.
It happens
in Boston,
everywhere.
on Boston's
And
Sports
dog,
Radio.
and you know what happens on Twitter all the time too. They get the little
yeah.
avatar,
Oh yeah.
black man,
Oh, yeah.
black woman,
Right.
and
right.
they just getting the takes off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers was that dude
Posing as
on
vaccinated.
vaccination status.
So
Poser.
that's really funny. But in all seriousness, you
It's
said
true,
a couple
though.
of. It's very
Is it true?
Oh yeah, all good humor is rooted in truth. And I want to talk
Yeah.
about truth because you said a couple of words that I would qualify as trigger words, and I wrote them down. You said lied. You said pay the price, and you said judgment. Which, man, is so crazy. We've had so much practice talking about this since the beginning of the pandemic, since the vaccine rollout. Kyrie Irving, we had so much practice about this. And I think it's all connected. It's all connected. And it's all consistent, some of these themes. Let me start with the lie part. A lie, Aaron Rodgers was only lying depending on what you consider to be the truth. Let me say that again for the cheap seats.
All right.
Aaron Rodgers was lying depending on your truth. And in response to that question, Aaron Rodgers spoke his truth. And you and I both know that truth when it comes to the vaccine, or right and wrong when it comes to the vaccine, that's very subjective. And so I'm with you on, it would have been nice if there would have been some follow-ups. I'm with you on, he obviously was trying to be slick, but as we like to say, next time you want to be slick, be slicker than a 6-year-old. But in that moment, in his mind, he had taken proper precautions. He had done what was necessary to immunize himself against COVID-19. And when somebody asked him, are you vaccinated? The real question should have been, and I'm talking, this is strictly from hindsight, no way somebody would have phrased the question this way. But the real question should have been, are you in complete compliance with NFL rules that stipulate that you have to take Pfizer, Moderna, or Johnson & Johnson in order to be fully vaccinated and not subject to protocols reserved for unvaccinated players? That's the only question that would have boxed him in. And nobody would have thought to ask that because he asked a yes or no question, are you vaccinated? And because Aaron Rodgers likes to fancy himself as the smartest person in the room, because he wants to think he's so clever, Mr. Wannabe Jeopardy host said, I'm immunized. I'm good. Because he thought he was good.
I'm immunized.
So again, the people who say Aaron Rodgers was misleading or deceiving, it's misleading only based on what you believe he should be following.
But I'm going to disagree with that.
It's misleading only if you, I'm talking about from his perspective. I'm talking about from his perspective.
I know,
But
even from his perspective, it's wrong. But Mike, just to interject, there are two options. He tried to create a third. There ain't no third party. There's not a third party. So there's
in your mind,
as far as the NFL is concerned. No,
as far as the NFL is concerned,
because the NFL, NFL said
I know the NFL rejected it. I know the NFL rejected it. I know they rejected his appeal. I know that. I'm saying from Aaron Rodgers,
that was not an option.
Michael, you're brilliant.
He tried to do the right end.
Michael, you're brilliant. He did. You're brilliant. But one of the things I love about you is you don't fancy yourself as the smartest person in the room. You're not trying to outsmart people. And if you are the smartest person in the room, you try to find a new room, right? This is Aaron Rodgers we're talking about. And I'm not apologizing for him. I'm psychoanalyzing Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, in that moment, was asked the question, are you vaccinated? And remember, we're in uncharted territory. We're still navigating this conversation. We're still figuring it out. Aaron Rodgers is probably sitting up there saying, I don't owe you a damn thing. I don't owe you an explanation. Because that's how a lot of unvaccinated people feel. That goes back to that word judgment or scrutiny. I don't owe you an explanation as to what my health decision was. I'm immunized. Thank you very much. I've taken what I believe to be proper precautions. Again, that's why the question, in hindsight, needed to be narrowed to, are you in compliance? And again, misleading, it's only misleading depending on what rules or what crowd you think he should be following. You and I believe in the vaccine. And we talked about this, Michael. I know you've done some soul searching about this. You and I believe in the vaccine. Aaron Rodgers, Kyrie Irving, and a lot of people don't believe in the vaccine and or vaccine mandates. So Aaron Rodgers thought he was being forthright, but he was also being slick. Now, the good part. Oh, and the pay the price part. Again, that's what I'm talking about. When you said pay the price, Aaron Rodgers, like, speak your truth and pay the price. In that moment, he spoke his truth. And what you said, you're right about paying the price, but that's what it's come to. Because, and I'm using your words back to you, Big Mike.
Yeah.
When you're unvaccinated, there's judgment attached to that. And that's why this conversation has gotten so toxic. So Aaron Rodgers didn't want that smoke at the time, so he played a game of smoke and mirrors. He didn't feel like going through what Kirk Cousins and Cole Beasley and everybody else had to deal with when it comes to being unvaccinated. Now here comes the good part. All right, so now I'm done explaining on behalf of Aaron Rodgers because I don't work for Aaron Rodgers, and I'm pissed at Aaron Rodgers. But my pistivity is not reserved for Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Because it's not
Shout
a
out
crime.
Robin Harris. Rest in peace.
It's not a crime to be unvaccinated because there is no vaccine mandate in the NFL. In this case, the cover-up feels criminal. Was it just Aaron Rodgers who covered it up after saying he's immunized? Or was the league and the Packers complicit? I need to know how often he has been found in violation of protocols behind the scenes and how frequently he was fined. Because if the Packers were walking on eggshells, because they didn't want to piss off their quarterback any more than he already was this offseason, and they want to protect Aaron Rodgers, that's the problem for me. Enabling the lie is the problem. Enabling the lie at the expense of the media members that Aaron Rodgers did press conferences with unmasked. Enabling the lie at the expense of some teammates or people around the league that he may have come in contact with unvaccinated and therefore unmasked. When he was at a Halloween party as John Wick, loved the costume, shouldn't have been at the Halloween party. That's a violation because you have to limit the amount of people you're in contact with when you're unvaccinated. So to me, it's not just about Aaron Rodgers and what he said on August 26th. It's everything he's done or not done, and everything those around him have done or not done to enable his unvaccinated ass to walk around without a mask. That's what I need to know more about. Everybody's focused on what he did on the 26th. And I get why. Because it was deliberately, it was a lie by omission. But it wasn't a lie depending on what your truth is. And his truth in that moment is that I'm all good, I'm straight, I'm all set, I'm immunized. Nobody asked him because why would anybody think to ask him? Why would anybody think to ask him, are you in compliance? And what this whole conversation remains about, Michael, is the issue of compliance. It's long ago stopped being a public health conversation. It's about mandates and compliance and control. So we're right back where we've been for the last few months. And there are people out there right now that believe that Aaron Rodgers was well within his rights to pursue a homeopathic method, was well within his rights to not disclose everything about his vaccination status or lack thereof in a press conference setting. He doesn't owe the media anything. What he was not within his rights to do was act unvaccinated based on his determination and walk around without a mask.
Oh, no, to act vaccinated.
Act vaccinated, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. To act vaccinated.
And
to his actions more than his words is what bothers me.
And see, a couple of things. One, I can understand why the Packers wouldn't want to challenge him because of his greatness on the field. And they're just happy to have him there because for a good portion of the preseason and training camp, didn't look like Aaron Rodgers was coming back. And if Aaron Rodgers is not coming back, well, we're not talking about the 7-1 Packers. I feel like I can go out on that limb and say the Packers, they might be in good shape, but they wouldn't be 7-1. Maybe they're 5-3, but they're not talked about as a Super Bowl contender without Aaron Rodgers. And the Packers realize that, and the NFL without Aaron Rodgers realizes it. But this is what I was talking about, and you mentioned soul searching. Yes, I did a lot of soul searching on it, and I came to the conclusion that there are people who can take COVID seriously and not be vaccinated. I know.
Correct.
A lot of people don't agree with that. A lot of people don't agree with that. But I think it's possible. You take it seriously. You don't think it's a hoax. You don't think it's something that's just going to go away when the weather turns warm. We already have evidence that that's not true, right? We've been through summers and a couple of summers now, and it hasn't gone away. So they don't believe that it is right for them.
Right.
I'm okay with that as long as, one, if you come into contact with me, you let me know that's where you're coming from.
Correct.
And two, if you're not in contact with me, you still do the things that we all should be doing. That is wearing a mask in certain situations.
That's called
social
respect.
Distancing.
That's
all
called
of
respect.
these things.
Yes.
Cool. At least do that. But don't pretend that you're something you're not. And what I just can't get past with Aaron Rodgers, I can't get past immunized. It's just, that's not on the menu. It's not on the menu. We got two options on the menu. Which one do you choose? Oh, well, you know what? I like my eggs over. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say your eggs are over easy. We ain't got egg whites. We ain't got tofu. No, it is this or that. And if you don't, and here's the thing he didn't want to deal with, Mike. If you don't like that, you might want to go to a different restaurant. In other words, sit out. You may have to sit this one out or get vaccinated. But anything else, it's just, you're making it up. And that's what happens with a lot of people who lie. If you lie, you just start to think that, okay, this is real. This is my reality. I'm good. He probably thought he was healed. He probably thought he had, he knew more than the scientists.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. By the way, side note, I don't want to waste time reenacting the scene, but if you haven't seen it already, go see a movie called Hell or High Water. It's available if you haven't seen Hell or High Water already.
Okay. All right.
Great movie, and there's a
scene.
There's a scene where they go into a steakhouse in Texas that speaks to what you're talking about. Like, ain't no options here. There's no choices on the menu. But anyway,
right.
The thing about it is, immunize and vaccinate are often used interchangeably, and the difference is very nuanced. Again, he answered it honestly from his perspective, and if we're upset, the reason we're upset, the reason we feel lied to, and the reason we feel misled, the reason we feel hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, and led astray is because how we view the vaccine, number one. And number two, it's because there are strict protocols assigned to the unvaccinated, which he knew he qualified as. So to me, this isn't just an Aaron Rodgers conversation. This is a Packers conversation, which I believe the league is looking into it. This is a league conversation. Who knew what and when? Because they got cameras that could tell you when you took a piss and how close you were to the next person who was in the bathroom. They tracking every movement within that facility. So that's why I said yesterday when you said he lied, I was like, well, he lied to the public because the team knew. I don't know how many of his teammates knew. But if I knew,
that's a problem too, right?
Michael, if I knew on the 27th enough to tell you what it was on the 27th, where do you think I heard it from? A lot of people knew, but nobody outed him. Nobody said anything. Nobody enforced it. It wasn't a secret. So there needs to be accountability with the Packers, with the NFL. But for Aaron Rodgers, this is just on brand for him. It's just on brand for him. And he operated from a place of privilege that could have endangered the livelihood and the lives of teammates, staffers, media members, all because he thought he's smarter than everybody else. And he had come up on some cure or some immunization or inoculation or whatever you want to call it, some protection that the rest of us just aren't privy to. And he's not alone.